What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be counting down the top 10 free cards in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So, these are cards that can only be obtained by playing the game, and that spending money on the game cannot make it quicker. So for that reason, level 40s do not count. Also, I'm not counting any of the free exchange. I'm not counting Kobe. I'm not counting KD. Well, he's all 40. I'm not counting Westbrook for triple threat. I'm not counting. I am counting Westbrook. I don't know why I'm saying I'm not counting Westbrook. I'm not counting Kareem. I'm not counting Dirk. I'm not counting any of these guys. So it's just going to be the free cards. So before we get onto it, let's go over a few honorable mentions. So for honorable mentions, for me, we got to start off with some spotlight sims. Some of the initial ones. So some of these guys were pretty okay. Like, I don't mind Boogie. I think Boogie was alright. Boogie was my backup center for quite a while. Don Buse was a beast. He was a beast. The Busher had his time. He really did. And as well as that, though, I think Wicks was probably the best of all these guys. 7'11" wingspan. Couldn't really shoot the three ball, but he was kind of like... He was like a slightly downgraded version of the current Washington card we got the following season, I think. Or maybe he was around the same time. Either way, he was a very, very good card, Sidney Wicks. But the best of all these was without question John Wall. I didn't like Roy even straight away. I didn't use Roy in my squad at all. And I hated Wes Unseld. I know some people liked him. I hated him. For me, Wall was my point guard for a good month and a half. I still think I could run John Wall and get away with him. I think this John Wall's a really good card. If I do ever need to use Wall for squad builder, I would definitely get away with using him. And we're on to the triple threat spotlight sims. I mean, for me, none of these guys were worth it. None of these guys were great. Some of these were alright. Like, Jackson was okay. Johnson was okay. Cheney was really good on current gen. Malone was alright. Glenn. But the guys that I would say are honorable mentions are, depending on what gen you're on, next gen, Tyreek Evans, current gen, Manu. Personally, I preferred this guy, but I think I'm the only person that liked this guy in the world. But Ginobili, again, he sold me earlier. He sold me earlier in my gameplay. So he's going behind Tyreek. So Tyreek Evans, again, they were similar cards. His 3-point rating's not high, but he's got Kobe base, and again, you can bump with like shoe and stuff. But he had a super long wingspan. And on current gen, Tyreek wasn't up to much. Manu was better, but on next gen, Tyreek was definitely better than Manu. So these two guys were very, very solid. And then last up in the honorable mentions, like I just kind of have to. Actually, like if you're on next gen, Sabonis has to be in with a shout. Terry Dishinger has to be in with a shout as well. This version of Terry. Eddie Curry, I didn't particularly like him, but I know some people did. I mean, I can't not put Cam Reddish in. I don't have him in my top 10, but Cam Reddish would probably be number 11. He will be number 11. I only, in fact, have one of these Gauntlet Spotlight Sim players in the entire top 10. So, now let's get onto it. This is all going to be based on how good the cards were for the time. It is not going to be based on how good they are right now, because if it's right now, then it's just named the Gauntlet Spotlight Sims. This is all based on how good they were at the time they were released. And I believe three of these players were the number one card in the game when they were released. I do honestly believe that the top three on this list were the best card in the game when they were at the time they were released. So that's why it's tough to split them. And if you have any of these guys as your number one, that is perfectly fine. But at number 10, for his time, no. Where is he? Where's triple threat on offline rewards? I don't know where to find this guy. Okay, screw it. Search players. Position. Pink diamond. Shooting guard. Think he's a shooting guard. Maybe he's a small forward? He's a small forward. Jack Marin. It's Jack Marin. So his picture may be blurry, but Jack Marin on current gen, what you could argue was the best player in the game the day he came out. Actually, no, he came out after Hondo. That is most definitely not true. But you could argue that he belonged in the best team in the game when he came out. He wasn't that difficult to get. He was triple threat online. 20 half badges at a time when that was rare. Like, I think even the LeBron James Opal, when he had like 20, like low 20s. Handles for days, quick first step. He had gold range extender, gold clamps at a time when that was all that was needed. Great release, lefty shooter, 93 3 ball, 90 driving dunk. He was literally, if he had half range extender, I genuinely think people might have used him over Terry Dishinger. Like, he was that good. And I'm pretty sure Ty did use him over Terry. Jack Marin was one of the best cards in the game when he came out. One of the best wings. And was, without question, a top 4 wing in the game. So he was in. Anyone who had Jack Marin ran Jack Marin. Didn't matter who they have. You could have Hondo, LeBron, T-Mac. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone ran Jack Marin that had him. And he's only number 10. At number 9, this is an interesting one. Because you could maybe argue Marin was better for his time. But for me, this guy was one of the best centers in the game when he came out. Christian Wood. Christian Wood, Ray Allen base. Maybe this is next-gen bias. It probably is next-gen bias. But at the same time, Jack Marin was not very good on next-gen. He was just current-gen made. But again, I was playing probably as much current-gen as next-gen back in February. But Christian Wood, 38 hoffs at a time when that was a lot. He was really good on current-gen as well. But he had Interceptor, Intimidator. He had range extender, unbelievable release, quick first step. He could curry slide, 6'10". He had 95 mid-range, 94 3-ball, 95 driving dunk. He was like, basically, he came out, I think it might have been a week after Bill Russell came out. He came out a week after the Bill came out, and he was just free Bill. He was just easier Bill. Like, some people didn't want to grind for Bill Russell. Yeah, okay, just go and get yourself Christian Wood, who gives you like 80% of what Bill Russell gave you. Again, was Christian Wood in my squad long-term? No. But I mean, Christian Wood was in my squad for a while, and I had a pretty damn good team when he came out. And there's also a lot more competition for good players than in Jack Marin's era, because Christian Wood is way better now. Like, he came out, what was it, like 3 months ago now? He's way better now than Jack Marin was 3 months after he came out. So that has to stand for something as well for longevity. So Christian Wood is in here at number 9. At number 8 is a card that I never got. It's a card that I never got because I have not completed a domination in years, and it's George Mikan. It's funnily enough, I completed the last 3 doms. I did not complete the first 3 doms. But George Mikan, he was the best center in the game when he came out. Like, forget about the Bill Lambiers of the world, forget about the Cabangellis. Like, that debate will forever live on. And Ty, don't forget, I was as good as you were for the first few weeks of this game. Don't ever question the knowledge of Stick God Week 1 DBG. If you're watching this video, don't ever question the knowledge of Stick God DBG. But George Mikan was just the best. He wasn't that slow. He had Intimidator, and he had one of the best and easiest releases of the green in the game. As soon as button shooting became a thing, and again, he was one of the best centers. He was basically like Lambier, except he could shoot corner threes. And I mean, the ability to shoot corner threes is quite important. He was easily the best center in the game until I still think I would take him over that Porzingis card, because that Porzingis just kept selling everybody. Till Draymond came out, he was without question the best center in the game. So I think Mikan, yeah, a lot of people forget about Season 1 players, but we gotta give Mikan some respect. He was really good for his time. And number 7 is a card that I still to this day love. I still to this day love this card. And it is a Season 6 reward. Tony Kukoc. So Tony Kukoc, lads. 6'10". He was equally as good as Christian Wood, but he came out a month earlier. Like, Kukoc versus Christian Wood. I ran Kukoc over Wood, but there would be some times when I'd be playing where I was like, you know what? Because I remember when Christian Wood's weekend came out, was the weekend of TJ Warren, so I had to win 12 unlimited games. I'm pretty sure in probably 8 of them I ran Kukoc, and 4 of them I ran Wood, and they were equally as good. Kukoc was so good. Kukoc wasn't the best card in the world on current gen, but he may have been better than Terry Dishinger, or better than Danny Ferry on next gen for his time. Because again, when we were using Ferry as a primary scorer, Kukoc is a better primary scorer than Ferry. Ferry's a way better defender and just works better in terms of rebounding and defensively. So nowadays, Ferry did have better longevity. But at the time, man, Kukoc was insane. 6'10", Ray Allen base, Curry slide, good defensive stats, good badges. Kukoc was a beast. But he is in here at number 7 because, again, he was not the greatest card in the world to use like a cone. But at the same time, he was in my squad for quite a while. He was in my starting, like my lineup for at least 2 months. So Kukoc belongs in here at 7. And number 6, we've got the only Gauntlet Spotlight sim. And a guy that's still in my squad, James Wiseman. Is he still? Yeah, he's still in my squad. Wiseman, you can still make the argument Wiseman's the best center in the game. I don't, like, it all depends on what you do. Like, if you just run pick and pops and just want to shoot, you can make that argument. Like, I don't think he's good as Taco. I don't think he's good as the Giants, but you can still argue it. 52 hops, basically every key badge. Steph Curry base, 7'1". On next gen, he's Curry sliding. Insane post hook and post fade away. Really nice 3-ball, which again, bump up for like floor general and stuff. It's basically 99. 98 driving dunk. 95 block. 93 speed, 90 speed ball, 93 acceleration, 95 lateral. Like Wiseman, man, Wiseman is good. He's really good. He is easily a top 10 center in the game. Arguably top 15 card in the game. It's just the center position is so stacked that I'm going to put him here. But you can argue he's... Like, if you told me that you think Wiseman's the best player in the game, I'm not going to agree with you, but I don't think it's that crazy a statement to make. I really don't. And he's only in here at number 6. And number 5, we have the original Chicken Man. Okay, he's not here, but he is here. The original Chicken Man, Jameson. When Antoine Jameson came out in Season 4, there was no card like him. He was the first card in my team history to have Dante Exum base. He had Exum on quick, 6'8", 13 hops, 31 golds. Catch and shoot difficult shots, acrobat, brick wall. Rim protector, clamps, and gold. Like, yeah, he only had gold range. He also had half deep hooks, which if you guys don't remember, was a joke. Like, before post hooks got patched, he was literally post hooking people from contested post hooks in the free throw line. But he had an 85 driving dunk, which is decent. 86 ball handle. Mediocre defense, but good for the time. Speed was decent for his time. And this guy right here, he came out, was it like the 4th of January or something? Was when this domination came out. And like, he was better than, like, AK was the best power forward in the game at that stage. And he was better than AK. He was better than, especially on next gen. That AK sucked on next gen. And also, for completing that domination quickly, you got a lot of heat check players and stuff. Like, you made a ton of profit off that domination from the packs. And then you got arguably a top 6 or 7 card in the game at the time in Jameson. Like, and also a guy who had the longevity because he was just Chicken Man. So Jameson's coming in here at number 5. Jameson was initially number 4 on my list, but I settled on number 5. At number 4, I think this guy, again, you could still argue this guy belongs in the best squad in the game. Like, I don't have him in my squad, but you can argue. But, like, Bill Russell. Bill Russell came on in my wager against Denver. Bill Russell ended up playing instead of Wiseman. I played Russell instead of Wiseman. Russell is, like, one of the best defensive players in the game on both ends. Obviously, there's no point looking at stats and badges. He's an invincible card. Ray Allen base. Really good release. He can curry. His defense is good. He's the perfect height for defense in 6'10". Any taller on next gen and they just become super, super slow. To be honest, 6'10", 6'11" is probably the perfect combination of like length and not being super slow. But Bill Russell, man, I'm telling you, this guy right here was... I said it when he came out that he was going to be a top 10 player for the rest of the year. I didn't know how ridiculous the cards were going to get in June and July. So I may be wrong with that, but you can still argue it. You can most definitely still argue that Bill Russell's a top 10 player in this game. No question about that. You can make that argument. So yeah, he's in here at number 4. And then the top 3. The top 3 cards on this list were all, in my opinion, the best player in the game the day they came out. First up, at number 3, I think this guy only held the title of best player in the game for like 3 days because he came out 3 days before Hondo. So Terry Dishinger. Terry Dishinger. I think this was the first guy that got everyone playing every freaking waking hour to get. This guy took me 900 games. I played like 300 games on my other account for this guy. I played so many games on a different account. I'm like, you know what? I just want to get Terry for the sake of it. And I want to just test it out. No, I think, and I played like 500 something games on this account. I nearly got Doug West on this account, who was 750 wins, and I started on 30 wins in Triple Threat Offline. Triple Threat Offline is probably gonna, I'm probably gonna keep up with that at the very start of next year. I think I'm gonna go hard on it. But the dentist, the freaking dentist. Like, these stats don't look like they're up to much. My God, they were the best stats in the game at the time. We all woke up on one Wednesday morning. We all woke up and we just saw Terry Dishinger. We all looked at our phones, looked at 2KDB and saw there's this new Terry Dishinger card. And then we looked at stats and badges and we're like, this has to be a joke. This has to be fake. But no, this was the start of us realizing that if we heard of a name that we'd never heard of, that card was just going to be a demon. So Terry Dishinger, you have a place in history, but you're not number 1 or 2. This is a really close one. This is a really close one, lads, for number 1 and 2. And at number 2, I'm going to go with the best card in the game right now, Taco Fall. The only reason is that, like, this card is the best player in the game. If you're on current gen, he's the best rim runner, best defender. If you're on next gen, he's not the best defender in the game, but he shoots 100 times better than he does in current gen, and he's the best rim runner in the game. Taco Fall, forget Yao. Forget Yao. Sim Vular on next gen is, like, he's not quite Taco, but I mean, he's close. But I mean, and Kareem, you can't forget Kareem on next gen. But Taco Fall, this guy right here, I'm telling you, he's next level. He is a different breed. Taco Fall may be more unstoppable than Yao Ming last year. That's how good he was. And the fact that he's not even number 1. And number 1, in a very, very close one with Taco Fall, a card that I believe was the best player in the game. Taco Fall came out a month ago. This guy came out at the start of April. Danny Ferry. Danny Ferry would still be my starting power forward if they didn't come out with a better Ferry. 35 huffs. Highlight film, clamps. Intercepted, 32 goals. He has 67 total badges. Guy, look at how many games the guy's played. Games played 1, what? Why does this have 1 game play with him? I've played like, at one stage I said I'd play like 200 with him. And for me, playing 200 games with any player is a lot. But he has a 97 3-ball. Again, his stats are literally the exact same as the Dark Matter, who most people say is a top 5 or 10, or he's a top 10, 15 card in the game. But with Danny Ferry, in my opinion, just scrapes it over Taco Fall. Taco Fall, without question, is the best player in the game, in my opinion. So if you want to argue Taco Fall, more power to you. Taco Fall is great. And for me, Terry slightly ahead. Or Ferry slightly ahead. But the top 3, like, there are all the others, and then Terry, Ferry, and Taco are just, they're the top 3. They're way better. They're so far ahead of number 4. The gap between number 4 and Cam Reddish is smaller than the gap between Russell at 4. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll say the gap between Russell and Terry is bigger than the gap between Russell and Reddish. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. Those are the top 10 free cards we've gotten all year in NBA 2K20 on my team. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.